Hi, I'm clinical psychologist Dr. Ali Matu, and today I'm sitting down with 3 amazing creators to find a way to get through these really difficult and unprecedented times. So before we get into everything that's happened in 2020, I'm really curious, how were you doing before the pandemic?
I think that's a little triggering to talk about right now. I think like a lot of people, there was something about the way 2020 was laid out that it felt like this new fresh start. I felt like the beginning of it, the first 2 months, I felt like I was on this really beautiful momentum forward.
2019 was actually a very hard year for me mentally. I did go to couples therapy in 2019, and one of the biggest things that the therapist said to me was, your mind is so fast and you're not present here at all. And I kind of had to be broken down a bit to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing and how to best take care of myself.
For me, felt a lot of the time like I was always behind. I move at my own pace a lot, and so I felt like the world was moving so fast all of the time. I always felt like, oh, I need to upload more, I need to be doing more, I need to go do this, I need to do that.
I was about to launch a business that was all about traveling to other places, and so that was a horrible idea. Everything I had planned, it was all gone, and I had to completely change what my plans were for this year. So did the kind of videos you were making change?
Yeah, the content changed for me a lot, mainly because I had time to decide again what I wanted to make, as opposed to just trying to keep up with what everyone else is making, what the trends are.
Yeah, I started putting out a lot more just home plant content, and not because I knew it would be a trend or anything like that. It was just kind of like, I have a lot of plants and I'm starting to take care of them. How can I make content around that? And then the other thing I kept thinking about was, how can I as a creator help the viewer get through this time? People are coming to me to be entertained, and they're coming to me to have a little bit of an escape and have just a friend in their living room with them, hanging out with them because they're alone. And so I really leaned into that too. How can I make my videos as cozy as possible, as welcoming and inviting as possible for them?
Yeah, to that point, in a way, people need us more than ever before because people are stuck at home and need some way to escape or something to entertain them. So I initially leaned into that of oh, more is more. I need to create because people are really in need of it. But then there was a period of I need to create also to keep me stable and me healthy. So I had to reevaluate what content I was creating and what I wanted to create to I guess just keep me happy as well.
Kind of wondering about that. How do you balance these things? The things that sustain you as a creator and the things that really serve your audience and your community.
I recently did a video where I just made a meditation video, and I went into it thinking, how can I make a piece of content for someone who is coming back home from protesting and needs to relax, needs to get that stress off of themselves? Again, yeah, trying to figure out what do people need and how can I give them that in a way that fulfills me too, but also just calms them down.
The past 2 years I've made 2 videos when there's been kind of height of YouTube drama. I've made, I like to mentally call it clickbait for good, where I clickbait people into thinking I'm about to spill some type of tea. So it's the initial 30 seconds of someone thinking it's a personal thing, but it turns into more of just here are 7 to 10 things you could pay attention other than just my fragile emotional state.
Love that.
By the way, Connor, I always watch those videos. I see the thumbnail come up and I'm like, ooh.
So yeah, that's kind of how I feel creatively fulfilled, as well as fulfilling the audience, hopefully.
Lately on my channel, I've been just telling stories from history. I put on makeup and tell stories in a way that's lighthearted and relatable so people can understand what I'm talking about, but they're not being emotionally enraged. My audience is really receptive to it because they're getting taken out of the real world while still getting some sort of information that applies to the real world.
Something I've been struggling with as a creator is, how do we meet this responsibility while also taking care of ourselves?
you have to slow down and you have to just kind of let the feelings wash over you. I've definitely had a lot of mornings where I've just cried, you know, like a lot, like for most of the day, like nothing got done.
A pandemic is enough. And then there's every other day, there's, you know, a death of someone. There's a protest here, a protest there. There are wildfires. There's climate change. We're in the middle of a goddamn election. Like it's pretty exhausting.
For me, I've realized I am absolutely useless when I am watching these things and taking in all of this information, and it's affecting me to the point where I can't get out of my bed. I don't want to brush my teeth. I don't want to brush my hair. I don't want to do anything because I'm just so hopeless. My advice, at least for myself, is always just to disconnect and to preserve the part of yourself that can actually can take action and do things.
I always found it important to inform the people immediately around me. So as soon as things like this happen, I'm always the one to go back to my small community in Minnesota where I grew up, be like, who wants to talk about this here first? Like, let's get the conversation going, and then take it a little bit larger to my YouTube audience.
Yeah, just having those open discussions, that really helps. Feeling seen within the comments too, you know, people agreeing and being like, yeah, I feel the same way. This is so hard. It's been a comfort for me, and then I think conversely has been a comfort for them. So, but I check out a lot. I definitely check out a lot, as much as I can as a creator.
You're making me think of all of the news and notification and messages and videos and all of this stuff. How are you managing that right now?
I'm not managing it.
I was
I'll be
gonna say,
honest.
I think I'm not.
Yeah, my notifications are off. They've been off for a while. There's so much to go out and look for if you do want to know what's going on. There's so many places you can go and actually look for that stuff, not to have it just popping up when you're not ready or prepared for it. So I've just been shutting all of it down. Just X, no, mute, follow, unfollow, no.
My phone has this thing called focus mode. I think it's technically to help you be more productive and not look at apps and stuff. Those apps go gray and you can't even open them. But my phone is always on focus mode now.
I lean heavily into my schedule and I lean heavily into balance, because there are times where I'm taking in too much and I know it's not healthy for me and I know it's not doing any good for the conversations that I'm having. It's just an overload.
I found that I have to be very assertive about what can be triggering for me. Like, I have a cousin, her way of coping is by like constantly talking about all of these horrors, and she'll text me these things and I've had to be like, I just can't see all of that.
Yeah. And then also leaning into the wholesome stuff a lot. Like Connor, when you were going through your baking phase, I watched all of it, you know, because it was just really wholesome content, you know.
Yeah, my brother had a baby girl, so I've been watching her through this whole thing, and it really has had like a little bit of a new perspective on everything, as well as just I lean on that content to be my daily joy.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself that really helps you with your mental health?
I always have thought of myself as a pretty like level person, but journaling and stuff has really showed me that I'm actually a little all over the place mentally a lot of the time. And journaling has been really good, because it is good to kind of read back through, even if it's just the previous day or previous week or previous year. It's good to just reflect in that way.
Again, in many ways, I feel like I've practiced for this moment, because I've had my own struggles with my mental health over the past 5 years. I know that I desperately need to exercise in some form multiple times a day to keep me regulated and to keep my sleep cycle going.
Yeah, I never struggled with sleep before. And then I became someone who had a lot of insomnia. So I've had to learn a lot of ways of calming my body down that I might have dismissed in the past, but like they're exactly what I need now. So what is the one thing you are looking forward to doing when this pandemic ends?
My favorite thing to do was to go to a club or bar and go dancing. And that doesn't exist anymore. So I'm excited to do that.
Sydney, you're making me think of like my favorite thing to do, which is go karaoke. I cannot wait to do that again.
Oh, I bought a karaoke machine, so I do that alone in my living room.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but it gets me through.
I had so many travel goals this year that, LOL. So I'm ready to leave for a bit, you know, be on a beach in, I don't know, Bali or something. Just gone.
Mine is the exact combination of both of yours. I want to travel. I'm so desperate for it. It's my favorite part of this job. And also, I just want to go to a bar. I want to go have a night out. I miss the chaos a little bit. Everything, like that type of chaos of a night out. I really, really miss that.
All right, last question. What is one thing people can do to support their well-being right now?
I would say meditation. Look up meditation guides on YouTube, online. They're everywhere. Meditate.
Mine will be take time for yourself and lean on the people around you.
Find that hobby. What is something you have been wanting to try that you've been putting off? Lean into it now.
My tip has been to share just one piece of what's going on for you right now with someone else. And we've just done that here together. So thank you all for sharing so much of what you've been going through and having this conversation.